So brave you came out. And they bring him up and they applaud for him. They give him a certificate. Everybody is talking about this. Look how brave he is. They are promoting these things. And they are very smart. They tackle those children between age 5, 6. I'm not talking about telling 20-year-olds and 30-year-olds that choose your body, whatever you want to be. These are attacks they are doing against 5, 6-year-olds. They are very smart because they know whatever value, whatever ideology you teach them at age 5, 6, 7, that is how they're going to grow up. And whatever they learn at this age will stick with them. When you are 20, 30, your mind is set. A 30, 40-year-old, you tell them, you know, gender, this thing, like, what's wrong with you? Because from a young age, what they were taught. But when you put this in the mind of 5, 6-year-olds, and you promote it, and you encourage them, and you motivate them, and you reward them for this, what do you think is going to happen to the children? That is first and foremost, which is why we see the top leaders, they never put their children in government-run public schools because they know the harms. They're the ones that have made the agenda. They have the ones that have made the curriculum. So they send their children to private schools. You will not find the children of top leaders and, you know, government officials sending their children to government-run public secular education schools. You won't find it. And there's a reason for this as well. And of course, when you are in the schools, you have bad company, which leads to bad character, you know, bad friends, peer pressure. You know, every single person next to you, he is non-Muslim. He may be talking to the opposite gender. He may be having a friend of the opposite gender. He may be doing many things against Islamic values. And the children, they are pressured because they want to feel, they want to fit in. They don't want to be the GOAT. So they want to fit in. So this is a big problem, the peer pressure from their friends as well. And of course, these public schools, when you are seeing all of this haram, what happens? More sin, religion is seen as backwards, missing prayers and all of these things as well. So we see a lot of harms from the public schools, and this is something which we cannot turn a blind eye towards. And it is becoming worse and worse day by day, year by year. When we were younger, we did not have these things. Now you have in the public schools a separate bathroom, or even in any public place for gender. Whatever gender you are, you can go in, no problem. And then we have the problem of social media and screen time. Now we have children young as 7, 8 years old carrying a phone in their pocket. And it starts off with a small excuse. And I have seen children here and children everywhere. It starts off, you know, I'm giving him a phone so when he finishes school, he will call me. 7, 8, 9-year-old. What happens? Now the parent, they forget about him. He has the phone all night. Another child, he was given a phone because his parent went to Bangladesh and he had to call. And that was the start. So just so he can call his mother. Afterwards, what happened? The phone in his pocket 24/7. It starts off with some small excuse which they can get by it. They don't need a phone. But then the parents, they forget about them. And now they are involved in social media, Discord, Snapchat, Instagram, YouTube, and the things that are there, even the adults, we are victim to these things as well. Social media and the impact it has on the youth as well. Of course, we are seeing fake lifestyles. When we are watching these celebrities and these people, they are living a fake life. And we want to be like them. Although what they are living is not a reality, and there are many examples of this as well. You have cyberbullying, you have of course talking to the opposite gender, exchanging pictures, going on the wrong websites, and we're not monitoring them. We are not monitoring them because we think our children are angels. We gave them good tarbiyah. They will never do this, I know him. But believe it or not, check what they are doing. And you will see what is in their history and what they are looking at. And that is something we just cannot accept. My child is an angel. He will never do that. He is too pure to do that. I didn't teach him this. My family, do you know how we were when we were young? He will never do this. But lo and behold, when you realize what they are doing and when they become older and what they are engaged in, it's because of what they were doing at that age when you thought they were angels. And of course, the physical health. Nowadays, we have all these shorts, 1 minute, 30-second clips. What happens? Your attention span goes less because children, they cannot sit and read a book anymore. They need something moving. They need some screen. They need some action. which is why it is so hard to sit anybody, even the adults, Facebook scrolling, TikTok scrolling, YouTube scrolling, these shorts, they are designed to capture the minds of the people. And now it is very hard for people to sit without opening or checking their phones, even though they have nothing to do, because our attention span is too less. We cannot sit in classrooms. We cannot sit for an hour and recite the Quran. 20 minutes we cannot sit. 10 minutes we cannot sit because of the harms of the phone and the social media and all of these things as well. Of course, we are going to be exposed to many things using the phone, cyberbullying, inappropriate content, unrealistic standards, and all of these things that I have mentioned as well. And of course, we mentioned from the consequences, the first is doubting Islam. And then there are studies that about 23% of Muslims are leaving Islam when they go to these public schools. Why? Because of everything that we have mentioned. They are seeing Islam or religion as something backwards. They are being pressured by their peers. Everybody is doing something. They're the only ones that are not doing it. They are pressured towards it. The agenda that is being taught to them and the beliefs that are being taught to them at a young age, what do you think is going to happen? Especially when there is no parental, parents helping out, coming to the masjid, the children are going to be lost. And we are seeing this day and day, year by year. And of course, as we mentioned, the LGBTQ ideology, there have been studies where majority percentage of the Muslims said this is no good. And then later on, when you fast forward towards 10 years later, from 2007, the studies show that 61% of American Muslims said that homosexuality should be discouraged. Move forward to 2017, 52% of American Muslims says there is no problem with it. Why? Because of what they are being fed, what they are being taught from a young age. Remember, the people, the media, the schools, they are trying to target your 5 to 8 or to 10-year-old children, not those who are older. And of course, all of these things, when there is not enough Islamic education, then this will lead to being vulnerable to a lot of sins, a lot of major sins. And there have been studies being done, college students. Now, college students, about 77% of students, college students, are either involved in one of the following: alcohol or drugs, zina, premarital relation, dating, gambling, leaving prayers, disrespect towards the elders. About 78% of all college students have at least one or two or perhaps all of these evil qualities in their life. Also, what happens when Islam is reduced only to few actions, we have a lot of interfaith marriage. We have people marrying people from outside their religion. And believe it or not, I perform a lot of nikahs here in New York. Majority of the nikahs that nowadays I'm performing, or anybody, I speak to the other imams as well, one of the spouse is Muslim, the other is taking his shahada on that day. Or they say he or she is Ahl Kitab. Muslim man, Bengali, Paki, Afghan, Arab, Spanish girl, black girl, white girl, and the opposite. Out of 100% of the marriages that we are seeing now, I can tell you very easily 75 to 80% of marriages and nikahs are like this. Because of what they are exposed to, because of the intermingling, they are marrying non-Muslims. So when you have one parent who is a Muslim and the other parent who is a non-Muslim, what do you think is going to happen to the children? They are not going to have their Islamic identity. It's going to be very hard because they're going to compromise. The father who is Muslim is going to say, I'm going to take him to the masjid on Saturdays. The mother who is a Christian is going to say, I am going to take him to church on Sunday. And this is what we are seeing, and this is the problems that are happening. It's a confused household, and many of these marriages lead to divorce. And then what's going to happen to the children? Even if Muslim parents they divorce, what happens to the children? Imagine non-Muslim parent, what is going to happen to the children? Too many harms, too many effects, too many consequences that come out from public schools and secular educations and what we are seeing, and there are many more to list. But of course, time does not allow us to go through all of those things. Now, there are some solutions to minimize these effects. That what we are seeing outside, what our youth they are going through, we have some solutions. And from amongst the best solutions to minimize the harms and the ideologies that our youth are being fed on a constant basis, on a daily basis with their friends in their schools, wherever they may go, one major and one of the best solutions is the after-school maktab program. Now the after-school maktab program, they are accessible. Anybody can come. They have it on the weekends, we have it on the weekdays after school. There is almost no excuse not to miss this. Now if we have a full-time hifz, what's going to happen is you cannot go to school. You're going to have to do that afterwards. So you still have your children benefiting from their dunyawi knowledge, and afterwards they can come to the Islamic environment, see Muslims, pray, see teachers, and just have a connection with the Quran, have a connection with the masjid, have a connection with other Muslims as well. Now, one of the core goals of the maktab program is, of course, strong religious belief. We know, that's why I gave you an introduction, that there's a reason why everything I mentioned, is leading to what I'm mentioning now. That the maktab programs, they give a foundation to the children against what they are learning outside of the maktab and outside of the masjid. And of course, Islamic environment and love for Allah and His Messenger, Islamic etiquettes, they're not going to learn this outside. They're not going to learn respect of teachers outside. What are they doing in the schools? They are spitting and cursing at the teachers, and the teachers are just sitting there quiet. In the maktab, we teach them adab, we teach them akhlaq, we teach them etiquettes. There are etiquettes of the masjid, lining up. This is all a part of etiquettes. You may think this is not important. Lining up, sitting in rows, this is all a part of something that will help their adab and their akhlaq as well. And there are many more benefits of the maktab program, but I will move on to what are some of the structures and what we are trying to achieve and what is the curriculum here. Now that we know there is an absolute need for the maktab program, everybody agrees, or you guys think no? Who doesn't agree that a maktab program is necessary? Who doesn't agree? Everybody agrees because of everything that I have mentioned. We are seeing it with our own eyes. You don't need any statistics. You don't need to search the census. You don't need to search surveys and stuff. We are seeing it with our own eyes. Muslims leaving Islam, doubting Islam, asking questions which you cannot even imagine. And there are many causes for this. We will mention that as well. So our curriculum here, maybe we've spoke about this before, but we will cover it again as well. We have 5 fundamental elements. The first is the qaida and the nadira, and that is teaching the alif bata, teaching how to combine letters, how to combine words, the rules of tajweed, fluent pronunciation, pronouncing the letters properly, knowing the sifat and the qualities of the letters as well. Now this is the most important thing. More than going on to the Quran, the most important is the qaida. And unfortunately, very unfortunately, many parents, they are forcing the parent, or they are forcing the teachers and their children, why is my son not finished with his qaida? Why is he not on the Quran? He's been here for 1 year, 2 years. Mind you, the maktab program is designed to be from age 5 to 17. This is what the curriculum should be, the age from 5 to 17, the children should be in the maktab program. How many years is that? How many years is that, 5 to 17? 12 years. So the children, they have 12 years in the maktab environment. And now you want to finish the qaida, which is the foundation and the most important thing, in 5-6 months. What are you going to do for the rest? The foundation is the most important thing. If one brick is crooked in a building and you build up all the way to the sky, every single brick is going to be crooked. When the foundation is weak, the entire structure and the entire building will be weak as well. So the parents' goal is to go to the Quran, finish, and alhamdulillah, have a big party, my child, you finished the Quran. Our goal, the teacher's goal, is make sure your children, they recite fluently. To make sure their foundation is 100%. That when they go to the Quran, now they are not stuck. How do I connect this? How do I recite like this? And look at the elders. They know how to recite the Quran because they quickly went through the qaida. No structure. The way they are merging the letters, the rules, it is not there. And we see it. We hear adults, you can, yourself, why you are reciting. Maybe you can connect the words, but the way you are connecting, the way you are reciting is not good. Why? Because your foundation was weak, your qaida was weak. So if your child is in the qaida for 2 years, 3 years, so what? You have 12 years here. Do you want to perfect the foundation and take time on it? Or do you want to just, whatever, do it half-half and then just move on? What would you rather prefer? Your children having a solid foundation and working their way up? Or just going through the qaida incomplete? Because for those who study the qaida properly, they know how important the qaida is. There is no words that can measure the importance of the qaida. And your qaida teacher and the qaida itself. Alif Bata, we think it is whatever anybody can teach. Alif Bata or Alif, Ba, Dhamma, Kasra, we think this is just something anybody can teach. Wallahi, this is the most important time of your children's progress and relationship with the Quran. The qaida at age 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, whatever the case may be, however long it takes, it is the most important thing to your lifelong relation with the Quran. Because what happens when you leave the qaida? You're never going to come back. We have some students, their qaida was weak because they were being rushed. Now they're in the Quran, and if we tell them go back to the qaida, it's like the day of Qiyamah. How can you say go back to the qaida? How can I go back? You're going to put me with the kids? Would you rather live a lifelong of weak Quran recitation or fix your foundation and work your way back up? This is very important. We don't realize. We are just looking for speed, but we are not looking for quality. We want quantity over quality. But what's more important, you may ask yourself, quality over quantity any day of the week. Whatever job you are doing, especially this, quality over quantity is the recipe for success anywhere and everywhere you go. So we are trying to build quality. Although you may not like it, and you may say, why is my student still in qaida? No matter what you say, until the children, they are ready, we're going to move them on. And we see people coming from other institutes, or people coming especially from online, they cannot recite properly. Why? There are many students that they come from online. Why do we do online? Because it is very easy. I don't need to take my children to the masjid and back from the masjid. I find somebody from Pakistan who will teach my child 5 times a day for $50. Why am I going to pay more? It's going to be more days according to my schedule. Very easy. Just put the phone, the laptop in front of them. Now I have to go in traffic and all of these things. The harms of online teaching. Many harms compared to actual coming to the masjid. First, you're putting your child in front of a screen. That in of itself is enough to tell you the difference between online and in person. Secondly, the teachers, they don't care. They just want their salary that you are going to give them, and they're going to make the parents happy. We find many children, they say, when I ask, where did you study online? How much times did you study the Quran? I finished the Quran 8 times, 9 times. Online. Recite. He cannot even put 2 words together. Because they know the parents, they want more. My son finished the Quran 5 times, 6 times. His foundation, extremely weak. He cannot focus, and of course, coming to the masjid, praying salah, listening to the adhan, being with Muslims. And Quran is not the only thing being taught here. We have akhlaq, adab, salah, as you see in the presentation of the children when we have our programs. You see all of the different things they are learning, from hadith to du'as and all the things. These are all very important because of what they are being fed outside, and I cannot emphasize on that and the importance of countering that with what we are teaching over here. So it is very important we bring our children. So again, going back, number 1 is Qaida and Nawzira, which is the most important. After that, there is also the second element, which is Islamic studies. We have the books where you teach some of Tariq, history, some of Akhlaq, Adab, some of the Ahadith. We also have memorization of Dua and Surah. And maybe we have some parents, they tell us that there are certain, as we know, and I mentioned and I spoke about this many times, the importance of du'as, the daily sunan masnoon du'as Rasulullah gave us waking up, sleeping, going up the stairs, down the stairs. A person will be in the dhikr of Allah. They see their children reciting these du'as and they learn from them as well. So we are teaching them many du'as, and these are extremely important, which you will not find on the online teaching as well. And then we also teach them how to pray and how to make wudu as well. And we also engage in different imani discussions as well. So these are some of the elements that we are teaching over here. We have, of course, the qaida, the Islamic studies, where children, they can come to the masjid in the masjid environment as well. Now, some important things besides the fact that we have mentioned the importance of maktab, coming to the masjid, our curriculum and everything we are teaching, and how important it is to bring the children here. There's many more things to be said, but now we will move on to more of the rulings and some of the regulations that we want to establish in our maktab system to make it strong. Number one is timing and attendance. Making sure we are punctual and we are not absent. Unfortunately, many people, we treat the maktab, and many parents, we treat the maktab as just something by the way. If I have time, I go. My main focus is the school in the morning, that I gotta make sure they wake up and they go there. Maktab, if I have time, I'll go. If I don't, then I'm not gonna go. Attendance is the most important thing. There are some students, they come one day, they're absent 3 days, they come one day, they're absent 2 months, they come 1 week, they're absent 3 weeks. And we're not gonna allow that anymore as well, and we're going to mention that as well. Without proper attendance on a daily basis, you're not gonna learn. There's no other way to put it. You are not, especially when we are doing collective, and that's a separate topic. Collective teaching is very effective, which we learn in the teacher's program as well. And when we do collective and your child is not there and we move on to the next lesson, how can we focus individually when we're trying to get everybody on the same page? Because if we teach one by one, then the children on their desk is going to look around, is going to talk. So we try to give time to collective teaching, whether Quran, Hadith, Du'as, whatever the case may be. So attendance. Give importance to the class. Give importance to the maktab. This is for their future. Whatever they are learning in school is okay for their dunyawi. But they are not learning akhlaq, they are not learning adab, they are not learning etiquette, they are not learning salah, they are not learning adhan, they are not learning wudu. They are not learning anything that will benefit you in your qabr and that will benefit you in the akhirah. But they are learning that here. Now you have to ask your question. Is it more important that my children benefit me in dunya or in akhirah? And of course, both. Benefit in both. Take them there, bring them here. But if I had to pick and choose, many of us we choose giving more importance there. So which is why when I ask children who were absent, why didn't you come yesterday? Oh, I was sick. Did you go to school? Yes, I went to school. So why didn't you come? Oh, I became sick at 4:30. This is what they say. So how are you able to go to school and not come here? I'm sure whatever happened was from the morning time, not in between that 2 hours in between school and maktab. From between 3 to 5, I'm sure nothing happened to you. If you were sick, then you shouldn't go to school in the morning too. Then you should go to the doctor. But no, that's more important, because my son is going to become a lawyer, he's going to become an engineer, he's going to become a teacher. So I have to take him there. This is just something that we are seeing, and it may sound funny, but this is something that we are seeing every day, on a weekly basis as well. So attendance, very important, very key. Do not miss the maktab. Do not miss the maktab. Moving along, as we mentioned, absence management. Now we are going to put some regulations to that. Because believe it or not, we have some students, they come for 1 week, they're missing for 2 months. After 2 months they come, they're sitting in class like nothing happened. I said, hello, where did you come from? They're just acting like nothing happened. And we have many students like this. They are gone for months, weeks. They come into the next day class, they're sitting as if they were here every single day. So there's going to be some management, and to make sure we put a stop to this. To make sure we put a stop to this. What happened in the schools? When you are absent for a number of days, you cannot go to the next year. Is that not right? If you're absent for, I believe, 20 days or so, you fill the marking period. Perhaps you may fill the year, you have to repeat the year. So number one, advance notice is required. Any child who is going to be absent, they must inform any one of the teachers or the teacher of their child. This is going to be strictly enforced because there's going to be something else that is coming. Two, sisters, please stay a little quiet, is to give prior notice to the teachers that your child is going to be absent. Now, unauthorized absences, meaning being absent without informing the teacher and getting approval from the teacher, more than 5 days per month will result in the child being expelled from the maktab program. And this is something which you may not like to hear, but this is the only way for it to be done. We choose quality over quantity. We don't want 300 children and they are all paying, but they are not improving. We want quality. And we have structured programs, we have a whole team behind us, the Misbah. We have a whole team, and this has been through mashara and through advice from them, because they manage over hundreds of makatib around the US and North America as well. So more than 5 absences without notice per month will result in your child being told to not come anymore. And this is something where you have to choose. Now, of course, there's an excuse. As we mentioned, there is no problem. A person went on vacation, a person is properly sick. But if it's just laziness, then that is disrespect to the masjid, disrespect to the teacher, and disrespect to the community and to the staff and administration as well. If you want to re-enroll your child after being kicked out for excessive absences, then you must pay the registration fee again, which is $100. You must pay the registration fee again, and then you can come back into the class after meeting with the staff and the teachers to make your re-enrollment eligible and for the children to come back and sit in the class. So we are not gonna tolerate absences for 2 months, coming and acting like nothing has happened. No school will tolerate that. No school. Go to any school, be absent for 2-3 weeks, come the next day and see what they say to you. No school will tolerate that. So that is with regards to the absences. Now, the code of conduct for the students, behavior. There is a zero tolerance of bullying over here. Nobody is allowed to touch anybody else. Nobody is allowed to make fun of anybody else. Nobody is allowed to throw their hands or throw their feet or anybody else. That will be strictly enforced, because we are having certain children that they are doing this. And we are going to call in the parents. As we said, from now we have a more structured program. And things are going to be more strict and they're going to be more serious for the benefit of the children. Not for our benefit, but for the benefit of learning and to be proper students. So anybody who is bullying others, hitting others, they will be given a warning. They will be told. Their parents will be called in. They will be talked to the parents, or will talk to them, your child is doing this, make sure he fixes himself. If there is no change and the child is harming others, then we're gonna have no other thing to do but to expel the child. The students, they must respect all of the property of the masjid and the books and everything here. Of course, proper care and everything as well has to be done as well. Another thing, we have students who are below the age of 5, and this is something that we spoke about extensively as well. There are some children that are below the age of 5. They are not learning. They are just sitting. And of course, children, they cannot just sit. They run around, they bother other people. So we are going to address those children as well, because this is not a daycare over here. This is a place where we learn. So if children are unable to learn, or they are below the required age limit, and we say just put them there, you may say just put them there, But if you come and you see the halat and the condition and what is going on, then you yourself will say, maybe I should bring them back when they are more mature, or when they are eligible to be enrolled in the maktab. So strict policy of 5 years old. 3 years old will not be admitted until and unless they reach the age of 5 and they are able to understand and learn. Because again, there are other students here that are of the age of learning, and we do not want those children to be a hindrance where we have to sit them down here, we have to tell them sit over here because they're not learning, because they cannot learn. They are unable to learn because of their age. So we cannot have that anymore as well. And then we move on to the dress code. And this is something that we tried to enforce many times before. Sometimes the parents and the children, they follow. Sometimes they don't. Maybe they do for 1 week, but next week they go back to... What's that, Azan? Okay. So the dress code for the boys. We have to dress in Islamic attire. Islamic attire. So we're not going to put any specific, as some makatib and madaris they do. They make sure it is a white jubba with a white hat and stuff like that, which is okay, is good. But over here we're not going to be that strict, but at least Islamic attire. Islamic attire, and also having a topi as well. Very important. You need to dress according to the occasion. If you're going to play sports, we have, like, for example, we have some scholars and some imams, of course they are in their sunnah libas all the time. But when you're going to play sports, to play in attire of sports, you should play in the attire of sports. Rather, you going and playing in the jubba and picking it up is against tawallu, it's against humility. You want people to say, wow, look at this scholar, he's always in his jubba. Wherever you are, that's how you're supposed to dress. You're going to play sports, why am I going to wear a jubba? I have to wear something that's covering my aura, something that is appropriate, and according to where I am. I'm coming to the masjid, I'm not going to wear what I'm going to wear to the soccer field. I'm going to wear what I have to wear coming to the masjid. This is just simple etiquettes. This is something where you don't need a mastermind to tell you. Wherever you're going, you dress appropriately. You dress accordingly. You're coming to the masjid, dress as a Muslim. You're standing in front of Allah. You're praying, dress properly. You're going to play sports, wear something that you can comfortably play. Not something that's going to stop you from playing. So this is just something which is very important. Dress according to where you are. And of course, no matter what it is, it must be according to the laws of Islam. Like I said, if you're going to play sports, I'm not going to tell you wear a jubba, but at least you must cover your aura. This is fard at all times, whether you're in the masjid or you're outside the masjid. What is the aura of a male? From the navel below the knees. You must cover your knees. This is something which is, there's no doubt about it. We're going to play sports, we must cover our knees. This is the aura of a Muslim. You will be sinful. This is fard at all times. Not only when you're praying, not only when you're in the masjid, but at all times. That's for the boys. For the girls, of course, we have the abaya that covers their body. We don't have any tight clothing. Scarf, no nail polish, because we know some students, they come with nail polish or nails or long nails. You cannot pray in that. If you have nail polish, the water will not go into your skin and your wudu is not valid. Praying with nail polish or long nails, you cannot pray. Because when you're performing wudu, your wudu is invalid. And if your wudu is invalid, then what's going to happen? Your salah is invalid. No nail polish, no jewelry, no makeup, very important. We're not going to a wedding, we're coming to the masjid. Modesty is required. And all of these things are very important. Make sure the abayas are, of course, loose. Have the hijab. Do not wear any tight clothing. Do not wear jewelry. Do not wear makeup. Do not wear nail polish or anything like that as well. And then we have the personal belongings. And I stressed upon this many times. But unfortunately, nobody is taking heed to what we are mentioning. And that is taking your books home and studying there. 99% of the students, they are leaving their books here. Go look at the shelves and see, you'll find their names. Come one day at 5, and every student that walks in, they're going to run to the shelves and pick out their books. How are they going to learn when they're not taking their books home? And how many times we emphasize this, leaving their books here. Do they leave their notebooks in school? If they have homework, do they leave their textbooks and workbooks in school? Or they bring it and you watch them, oh better, do you have any homework today? And you check their folder and everything. Why is it now you're not checking what their homework is here? Which is why we have students, believe it or not, they have not fulfilled a single assignment for the past 3-4 years. Do this, I forgot. Memorize this, I forgot. One surah, students they have not memorized for maybe 1 year. Some simple as Surah Mulk or anything from the 30th juz. Why? Because we're leaving our books here. How are they going to learn if they are not even taking their material with them? Take the books and make sure you force them. Because the children, we cannot force them. We can only tell them. But as parents, you make sure they have their Quran. Sometimes the kids, they are reading from different Quran every day. And some of the Quran, the Uthmani Mus'haf, the Mus'haf that the Arabs do, is hard to read from there. But because they don't have their own Quran, and they're just finding whatever is available, they pick it out. They don't know what page they're on. They don't know, they're not used to that Quran. They cannot read properly because some Qurans, they have different wordings and different letterings as well. So make sure they take their books and make sure they are studying at home as well. And as we mentioned, how we are going to take our disciplinary measures, whether it comes to absence or whether it comes to bullying or children hitting or whatever the case may be. First, there will be a verbal warning. We will tell you. If it doesn't get better, then the children, they will be sent home. And then if they still don't get better the next day, there will be a short-term suspension. And then there will be a meeting with the parents and the teacher and the children, and if still things they do not get better, then it will be expulsion from the program. And then we have progress monitoring and assessment, and this is very important. This is where we must monitor our children's progress. How much have they learned? Where are they now? How is the level of their fluency? What is the level of their tajweed? So we're going to be taking exams maybe 3 times over the year, and on a monthly basis we are going to be doing checkpoints by different teachers. And of course we also have the parent-teacher conferences where the children they present and we can speak to the teachers, and we're going to inshallah enforce that as well. Are we planning to end by Maghrib or end by Maghrib, right? We have a few minutes, I'll move on to the last thing, although there are more things to cover, and that is the engagement and the responsibility of the parents. Now, the children, they come to the maktab 2 hours a day. In the maktab, there are many children, not only your child. They come 4 or 5 times a week. Sometimes people come 2-3 times a week. Where are they the remaining time besides school? They are with you. They are at home. The biggest role model to the children is the parents. You cannot say, let me send my child to the masjid, he will become good, and I don't watch him at home. I did my responsibility, I sent him to the masjid, that's it, my job is done. I will not be asked about this on the day of Qiyamah. If I send my child to the masjid, the teacher better make him good. If the teacher doesn't make him good, the teacher is not teaching properly. If my child is still cursing, we blame the teachers. We blame the masjid. If my child is not learning, why are you not teaching my child? He's been on the same sabak the whole time. What are you doing at home? They're here for 2 hours in a classroom of 20-30 children, and you're not doing nothing at home. But it's very easy to blame others. Very easy. Very easy not to feel guilty about ourselves. Very easy to put the blame on other people without actually addressing the issue at hand and knowing that it is my fault. I am giving so much time to my job, to my work, waking up, making them go to school, but I'm not caring about the masjid, I'm not bringing them every day. When we have a parents meeting, I'm not coming to the parents meeting. I am not assessing their work at home. I am not asking, what was your homework? Did you bring your books? And then when they're not progressing, we point the fingers at the masjid, at the teachers. This maktab is not good, let me take him somewhere else. If you take him to the best maktab in the world, and you take him to 200 makatab, your child is going to be the same. Until and unless you enforce in your homes. You enforce in your homes. We can offer support. We can offer help. We can try to fix. But it is going to be whatever is going on. You have to be role models for your children. You have to set an example for your children. We are working all day and night. We are giving more importance to that than the progress of our children. What's going to happen? The children are not going to see their father. They're not going to be given any tarbiyah. And then we see what we are seeing. There are many examples where the child, he wants to wake up for Fajr, but the father says, go to sleep. What's going to happen? You're going to be tired for school. Don't wake up for Fajr. It's okay. Later on, when you become 20 years old, wake up for Fajr. Is he going to wake up? Whatever values you instill to him at a young age is going to stick with him. And this is very important. We don't understand. At the age of 5 to 10 to 12 is the most important time of your child's life. If you don't do any mihnah, you don't do any effort at this age, and because they're hard to, obviously children is not easy to raise. You gotta, sometimes they're not gonna focus, sometimes they're not gonna listen. And we don't want to go over that stress because we have stress of family, we have stress of business, we have stress of work. We don't want to put that effort. But at this age is the most important and critical time of your child's life. Be role models for them. Anything, even when a parent is driving a car and his children are there, the way the father drives is almost certain how the child will drive. If the father, while driving the children while they were young, used to drive fast and this, the child will do the same. If the father drove calmly and nicely, the children will learn the same. So even at things like that, the child will learn. Which is why they are very smart at this age. Whatever values they are putting in their children will remain with them. So we have to bring our children to the maktab. We have to be role models for them. Whatever is done inside the house is what will stick with them. So it is very important. We do not put the blame on the teachers. We do not put the blame on the curriculum. We do not put the blame on the structure. But rather we have to make sure we are enforcing strict laws with our children. Monitor their phones. Monitor what you give them. Monitor their progress and their assessment. So very important, whatever the parents they do is what is going to be instilled, the values of the children. And most important is the salah. If you are not praying salah at home, your children will grow up being people who will leave their salah. Bring your child to pray with you. It's the time of Maghrib. Come for the prayer. Come to the masjid, or at least establish it at home. Do daily ta'aleem, modesty, all of these things, preparation, communication, tarbiyah. All of these things are very important. And like that, we are coming close to the time of Maghrib. So we covered many things. Many things we covered today. We covered the harms of the public education, the effects and the consequences. But alhamdulillah, we have a solution. And that solution is the Maktab program. We explain our curriculum of the Maktab program. We explain the responsibility of the children. We explain the responsibilities of the parents as well. And of course, we are very strict with the absences now as well. So we ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to grant us the tawfiq and the ability to understand and act upon whatever has been said. If anybody have any questions, this is the time to ask before we get ready for the Maghrib Salah, inshallah.